Welcome everyone to my new episodes for Klein funding. Today we're going to talk about a complete review with payout rules and discussions around the subjects, comparing the plans, and making sure you guys have a complete understanding, but at the same time this is going to be a video series with multiple episodes diving into the details. So before we get into everything, make sure for those of you that have questions at any point, let me know in the comments area. And you can also join our prop firm community on Discord for free, which is dedicated exactly for this. We talk about rules, we talk about prop firms, trades, and of course, our daily live stream where I'm trading the Klein accounts, where I do giveaways daily for free on my live stream, 8 a.m. EST time on my YouTube channel right here, guys, daily. So let's get into the subject. It's a prop firm which is allowing you to trade with funded accounts, with evaluations. It's an instant funding model available as well, evaluation model too, with a bunch of allocation up to $300,000 in max allocation for the funded accounts. You know, it is a prop firm which is very well ranked on Trustpilot, and that's one of the things we always care, and we care to research the model of reviews they have. It's, really well ranked out here. It's been online since 2014, based in the UK, with great performance and a really good reach out there for the crypto community. Therefore, I'd like to share with you more details about. Let's talk about their plans and dive into the other things as well. By the way, they always have promotions, right? Most of the time they have 10% for the Instant Pro, which are the instant funding accounts, and 20% for the evaluations. I can give you much better discounts, such as 15%. So I can give you 5% discount of the original price extra, 5% extra discount on top of the ones they would give you if you're using my codes. For example, 25% and 15%. For the instant funded, the code is SCR, and you can utilize it at the checkout. And for the evaluation accounts, the discount is 25%. Utilize the code Scrembo, right? These are the two different codes depending what you're buying. If you're buying evaluation, then it's the 1-step, 2-step, 3 steps. If you're buying the funded account, it's the Instant Pro, right? That's, instant funding account. So 2 different coupon codes giving you always 5% more at any time than what they're giving you. Beautiful. Of the listed price. So let me just get started with it. I mean, it's a prop firm allowing you to adjust things, allowing you to adjust the reward split, the maximum drawdown for the evaluation accounts. For the instant funding accounts, it's a prop firm allowing you to adjust your drawdown model as well. So it's quite interesting, and there is a lot to speak around the comparisons or a lot to talk about the details, but I'm just going to walk you through a couple of things. The platform you're going to trade is Bybit. Bybit, available for any person basically, including US, including all that stuff, right? So not an issue at all. You are going to be connected for a Bybit, and that's the place you're going to trade. It's a cryptocurrency exchange with billions of volumes a day. And separately, you're doing your KYC for a Klein funding, not on Bybit. So basically, that's the final there. Reward split, that's the next thing you will have to consider about. Well, you decide, because you can always, increase. And if you increase your reward split, which means at each payout you're taking, how much percentage of that payout goes into your pocket. You can play between 40% of what you're cashing out goes into your pocket up to 100%. Of course, the higher you go in reward split, the more it will cost you to buy the account. We're looking at the 1-step accounts right now. These are the most popular, but at the same time, the Instant Pro are extremely good as well, and I would say much better than the 1-step. I'll explain you why, and in the next videos you're also going to understand this thing right there, right? So looking at the drawdown type, static, which means your maximum drawdown on the 1-step is not following from the level you decide. You can go 6%, which is a great level, 6% drawdown. Your maximum drawdown will always match the target you need to achieve for you to get funded. Because the evaluation account, this 3 models of evaluations means that you're buying a challenge. You have to pass the challenge by hitting your target, and then you become funded. When you become funded, you restart the trading from the original balance. So first, you buy a challenge, you pass the challenge, and you become funded. You can only cash out money in the funded stage. You cannot cash out money in the evaluation stage. The evaluation stage is to evaluate you and make you funded if you pass your target by hitting that specific value. 6%, your max drawdown is always going to be 1-to-1 with a target. If you increase your drawdown, you also increase your target as well automatically. Now, there's a few things to consider here. I made a specific representation with that. We have the daily drawdown. We have the rewards. You can request your payout at any time. Once you're funded and you start trading, you can request your payout at any time. Of course, at any time means that you have to respect certain things. Stability score, that's the one thing we're going to talk about today. Leverage, basically up to a huge number, right? A huge number of leverage. That looks lovely, up to 100 times, think about it, up to 100 times. So to be able to trade 100x leverage, definitely not suggesting you, because the risks involved and you have to be careful of certain things, but at the same time, you have the ability if you guys want to test it out. It's down to your decision, but certainly that's not good from my perspective. Been trading since 2014, so we got 11 years of trading, and I'm telling you. So, I'd like to touch bases step by step, more likely in a different approach. You can trade up to 700 assets, leverage up to 100x on Bybit. Very simple, straightforward. Getting you hooked up, connected with Bybit is extremely simple. You don't need a Bybit account to have. Everything is working internally on Klein, and they will adjust that for you. They're creating the account for you, right? So this whole procedure is, obviously you're trading simulated funds. So for those of you that are questioning, well, how do I get $100,000 worth of money on the markets if I only pay, 637? You're not paying 637. Basically on evaluations, they say 20%, but with my code, you have 25%. So you're paying less than that with 25%. That's a pretty good value. And that is probably the best account to buy the 100K, right? But we're going to take it step by step. And what people care about is how do they qualify to the payout? Besides the fact that the company is, paying out cryptocurrencies quite quickly, you can buy the accounts with a credit card in crypto as well. So the whole thing is functioning normally at this point. But usually people care about how do they qualify to the payouts and how do they protect themselves. What are the things they should avoid? And these are things that I'd like to talk about today, because this is most likely explaining what is Klein funding, right? So I'm going to get started with the Instant Pro accounts, with the funded accounts. So there you go. We have a representation made here by me. Pretty simple. How do you reach the payout? Instant funded means no challenge, and instant funded means Instant Pro, right? So no challenge. Pretty simple. Minimum 3 days of profit with at least 0.5% per day of the original balance, right? So if we talk about the 50K, which is obviously a great account, $50,000, 0.5% basically of this specific balance is $250 a day. So they will require you to have $250 per day for minimum 3 days. That's the first thing. The second thing, you need a minimum 4% total profit. If we deal about this 50K account, that 4% is $2,000. So bring the account to $52,000 and you're fine. You're ready to cash out, because the Instant Pro accounts do not have consistency or stability score. No, they don't have. They also don't have a target. No consistency, no stability score, instant funded. 2 things: minimum 3 trading days, 0.5% on each day. and minimum 4% target on your account. And that's it. At that point, you can already request your payout. Max allocation on funded accounts, $300,000. So that means if you buy the 50K, you can have 6 accounts of the 50K. 6 accounts of the 50K. Certainly. Now, these are all the things that you got to do, and then you can cash out. If you bring it to $52,000 by respecting $250 a day or more, as much as you want, but minimum $250 a day for 3 days. You can make $2,000 in a day, and the other 2 days $250. You have $2,500. You can take it out all, $2,500, the 3rd day. You're ready for the payout. But what other things to avoid? That's also something you need to know about. Payout is completed in about 4 to 24 hours or 4 to 48 hours, something like that. But their average time is around 4 to 6 hours at the moment. It's crypto. It pays you out quickly. You can, reinvest from there, or you can do whatever you want. Certainly. Few things. Maximum drawdown. Let's get back to this, the things to avoid. Maximum drawdown. You don't want to touch maximum drawdown because that means you're going to lose your account. Maximum drawdown is represented always here. We're speaking right now about Instant Pro. You can adjust your maximum drawdown, but if you adjust it, your drawdown model is changing from smart to trailing. And I'll explain you soon what are the differences. And also how does the smart drawdown type works. I'll explain you that soon, guys. However, do not change it. Do not change it. Leave it on 6% and always be on the smart drawdown type, because the trailing is very, very dangerous and it's extremely hard to make money with that. Now, you can also increase your reward split, guys. For those of you that are scared with a 70%, I mean, you can increase this to 90%, right? And if you look at the price difference between 70, for example, on a 50K, 1,259, and 90 is 1,499. That's basically like what? $240, $250 extra. $250 extra. But the 1,499, you have 15% discount with my code instead of 15 on this specific account. So you have around $220 discount as well, right? And you're going to pay basically as much as the 1,259 will cost you. So basically, with my code, you will pay for the 90% reward as much as the 70% is costing you, something around that, right? It's 15% out of the whole price here. And it's definitely worth it that way for sure. Now think about 1,499 to be recovered, it's what? It's basically 3%, right? That's totally a 3%. 3% growth, and you're just making your money back. And you can take it out and then continue your trades and make more, for sure. Certainly. Now, max drawdown. Avoid that. If you're touching max drawdown, you lost your account. And there's another thing that you got to avoid. Daily drawdown is a hard breach. It's not a soft breach. It's a hard breach. Which means if you touch your daily drawdown, you will lose your account. So there is a solution for that. To utilize a stop loss. And the stop loss needs to be set at a value in order to avoid touching that daily drawdown. The daily drawdown will always show up in your dashboard area with today starting level, right? Because your daily drawdown value updates every single day. Let me tell you when and how does it work. Right, so let's just go here. What is a today starting level? This is the place, guys. That's why I said a lot of the people do not know what kind of questions to ask about a prop firm. And that's why we're making these videos. I'm also there on Discord and YouTube anytime you have a questions, guys. So the daily maximum loss is calculated from your starting balance at that specific time every single day. Once it's calculated, it will not move in the middle of the day until the next day reset time. That's the day, right? 12 a.m. and 5 minutes UTC time. your daily loss limit value is changing at that moment based on your balance. And how? Well, at 3%, right? 3% away from your balance. That's the way it's going to be at that specific time daily on any account. 3% away. So you need to know if you're allowing your trades open over the night, you got to put a stop loss adjusted to the new today starting level, right? You got to put that. If you want to leave trades open, you still want to put a stop loss before that because you don't want the next day to wake up and have your daily drawdown touched because it has been updated, right? So that's the model. You have to update your daily loss. Let's just do an example. You bought Bitcoin today at $100,000 and it went to 108. So your balance increased from 50 grand to $55,000, right? Beautiful. At that specific time, 12 a.m. and 5 minutes, your new daily loss will be calculated from that 55 grand. And it's going to be 3% from there. If you are not aware about this, you can easily lose your account because BTC might decrease a little bit, retrace a little bit, or have a reversal, and you touch your daily loss, and you've lost everything. No. You can simply exit out of your trades, or just put a new stop loss. And that new stop loss needs to care about today's starting level point that's represented in your dashboard area. That's the level, today's starting point. Updates daily based on your level of the balance at that moment when the system is calculating it, which is 12 a.m. and 5 minutes UTC time. Beautiful. If you're not awake at that hour, if you're not up at that hour or stuff like that, simply just, exit out of your trades and do not allow trades over the night open because a 3% retracement in a day in the crypto space is happening 99% of the times. And then you're going to touch your daily drawdown without even knowing it. So just exit out of your trades if you're not able to adjust your daily loss, if you're not able to adjust your stop loss based on the new value. That's a very important insight. Now, getting back to the max drawdown, once reached 51,500, which is 3%, your max loss, your max drawdown locks, it stops, it becomes static at 48,500, for example, if you're dealing with a 50K account. Right? So your max drawdown is not following you forever. Your daily drawdown is updating daily, and that kind of follows you. It stays 3% away from the place your balance is located at that specific hour, 12 a.m. and 5 minutes on UTC time. But your max drawdown, certainly not. It locks at 48,500 at a time you reach 51,500. Yes. So once you earn 3% of your account size, your max drawdown stops there. And your max drawdown is going to be 6% away from that level. So earn 3% in whatever account. And your max drawdown stops at 6% away. It stops there. It's going to become static, no longer moving, no matter how high or down the account goes. Don't touch that max drawdown for sure. No copy trading, which means you might have, a bot or a system or whatever. You cannot have the same entry because you can have 300 grand of allocation, right? So multiple accounts, which is the way most of the people have. But do not have the same entry. Exactly the same entry is not allowed. Exactly the same targets is not allowed. Just have it $5 higher, $5 lower, or whatever values like this. You can trade multiple accounts of Instant Pro, yes, but do not have exactly the same numbers. Like you can enter 10 seconds after, or 20 seconds after, or 2 minutes after, or whatever, when the value of that crypto changes a little bit at least, right? So do not copy trade, do not have the same values of stop loss, the same values of take profits, the same values of entries. You cannot copy trade exactly with the same values. No spot trading, only with leverage. So there's other things, certainly. I mean, there's other things as well. No hedging. And of course, one very important It's marked right here, guys. Prohibited trading style. These are the things you're not allowed for sure. You got to hold your trades for more than 50 seconds, which in the crypto space is certainly not an issue. Holding your trades for at least 15 seconds. My suggestion, guys, is, deal with 2, 3, 5x leverage. Deal with that kind of leverage sizing. 2, 3, 4, 5. Test it out and see how it works. You'll see if you open up a 3x leverage or 2x leverage, you can even do it on maximum allocation in terms of your contract. If you're having $50,000 2x leverage, you can put your entire margin. If you just, I'm giving you an example. Certainly you don't have to do it that way, but you'll see that you gotta hold your trade, and it's not an issue. Holding your trade in the crypto space is different than we talk about in the stocks. With 50 seconds in the crypto space is different, guys. It's not an issue for sure. Because we go 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x leverage. If you go, 50x leverage or 100x leverage or 40 or 30 and values like that are pretty much wild, then of course you might have to close your trade a little bit earlier, and then you're in trouble because that's a hard breach. Keep that in mind. So these are the things, guys. It's pretty simple to go for the payout, pretty also simple to avoid in terms of the things. No max drawdown, it becomes static at 3%. That's quite attractive. Daily drawdown avoided, no copy trading, and no trades that you're holding for less than 50 seconds. Just hold it for more. There's other things over here as well that you got to look into in the frequently asked questions. It's basically prohibited trading styles on the frequently asked page. Right, so let's talk about the other model of accounts. I mean, what does it mean for the trailing? The trailing is that, your drawdown never stops. It will always follow you. Your max loss will always follow you. With a smart, it locks at 3% profit. Once you made 3%, that's exactly what we talked about here, guys. This is the smart model of drawdown. Exactly that one. If you go about a trailing way, then it never stops. So I suggest you not to do that. Right? They are giving you a higher max drawdown with a trailing, but it's certainly not worth it, guys. Certainly, I'm telling you 100% from my 11 years of trading knowledge. Don't do it. Go with a smart, and 6% is great. Is great, because your max loss is gonna stop. Is gonna become static. Once you hit 3%, beautiful. It's static. Hit 3% profit. Let's go ahead and talk about the other model as well, which is the challenge model. Let's talk about their, I'm suggesting you one-step challenges. I'm certainly not suggesting you at all 2-step or 3 steps. For the evaluations, for the challenges, there are 25% discount from the listed prices, 25%. And it starts basically from the reward split of 40% up to 100%. The price is almost double if you're changing from 40 to 100, but keep in mind you have 25% with my code from the listed price, and that's quite great, guys. That's quite great. So even for the 100K, which are the best in terms of the one-step evaluation, 100K, if you go 100% reward split, or you can even go 90% reward split, makes sense. It's good, 90%. It's 573, so it's 57.3 times 2.5 because it's 25% discount, $143 discount. 573. It's $430. That's how much you're gonna pay for 100K. $430. Of course, you have the ability to go for evaluations at those prices for sure. Not evaluations, instant funded. There's so many details out there, so many accounts, so many stuffs that I am, but instant funded at that prices. Of course, that's right. Certainly, $430 you can get instant funded. Yeah, you can get a $25,000 instant funded, and that's like a $25,000 worth of an account. With a discount probably. It's not bad. Slightly above $500. However, which is why I said I prefer the Instant Pro. Now, the one step is a challenge, right? So you can adjust from the reward split. The drawdown type is static. The maximum drawdown is never ever moving. You can increase your max drawdown, but then you're going to increase your target, as I said, 1-to-1. And you definitely don't want to do that. 6% is great, guys. You know, these are good levels of 6%. Reward split, like I said, 90% is great because, you know, have that 25% discount, and it comes out a lot cheaper than what is listed out here. So rewards, obviously, but there you have to talk about the target itself, right? The 6% target. And let me explain to you how do you reach to a payout with these challenges, with these evaluations. Like, you have to pass your evaluation phase by touching your target. Respect the stability score. That's something you have to do in the meantime, right? So pass your evaluation phase by touching your target. Your target is 6%. It's listed here for whatever model you buy. Like I said, if you change your max drawdown, your target is going to change as well. So you got to make 6% to become funded, in other words. And you can only cash out money from the funded stage. The evaluation stage is a period of a challenge. You can only trade maximum one evaluation at a time. You need to pass or fail before using the second, third account. You can buy unlimited, have unlimited, but only trade one at a time. Pass or fail, right? So you can't trade one evaluation, be somewhere in the middle of passing or failing, and then start trading another evaluation. No. Only one evaluation at a time. Great. With the ability to have up to $300,000 in funded, guys. So you trade an evaluation, you pass the evaluation, you become funded. Great. You can have another evaluation while you have a funded one. That's right. So you can have evaluations while you have funded. Yes, that's right. Get funded and start trading by avoiding the daily drawdown. Very important. You also have a daily drawdown during the evaluation phase, which is the same rule. Hard breach, your value of daily drawdown is updated daily at that specific hour we talked about, 12 a.m. and 5 minutes on UTC time, and you simply need to be careful on that. Daily drawdown, max drawdown is static, but then we have the stability score. So some of you might question, what is this stability score, right? So, all right, how do I pass the challenge? I do have the target, but what is that stability score? The stability score is basically a consistency score. It's the same thing, which tells you a specific percentage. For the one-step evaluations, the stability score, consistency score is 30%. For the other two model of evaluations, it's 45%, right? So with a two-step, what does it mean on two-step evaluations? For those of you that do not know, you have two targets. So you have two phases of challenges. The accounts are coming out cheaper this way, but it's extremely harder. So certainly not suggesting two-step or three steps. Don't look at a price for an extra $50. You might burn 10 accounts trying to save $50 because you have two challenges instead of one, or simply because you have a challenge instead of nothing. With an Instant Pro, you don't have nothing. You grab your account and you trade by being funded. The best thing out there. So, but for those of you that like to give it a try with a one-step challenge, certainly not the other ones, this is the way to go about it. This is the way to go about it. Stability score, yeah, 30%, guys, which means your highest day should not worth more than 30% of your total profits. This is respecting the stability score, the consistency score. Your highest day should not be worth more than the total profits. If your target for 100K is 6%, that's $6,000. So you got to make $6,000 to pass the evaluation. Then 30% of $6,000, let's do the math here. 30% of 6,000, this is a percentage calculator. It's 1,800, right? I shouldn't cross 1,800 in a day to respect this 30%. And I do share some examples here. One step challenge, 100 grand. Let's do it step by step. Evaluation target, 6%. 30% stability score, means 1,800 bucks a day. If you're making more than 1,800 bucks a day, you got two possibilities. You can lose some money intentionally and bring it down to 1,800, which is fine. Or if you make 2,000 or 3,000 in a day, but you got to control with take profits. Let's do the example with 3,000 a day. Then that 3,000 needs to be 30% or less, because this is the max stability score. It can always be less. So that 3,000 needs to be 30% or less than the total profit. And that means you're increasing the target so much for your total profit because you made in a single day more than the 1,800. And it's not worth it, guys. Let me share with you. So, that's probably like close to $11,000, or what is it? No, maybe, yeah, exactly $10,000. I mean, 30% of 10,000 is 3,000, right? So we'll have to do $10,000 for your $3,000 day you made yesterday to be worth 30%. And that's $4,000 extra, guys, than the target they require you. And you're making that money without any sense properly. You just, trying to stick with a minimum, 6,000. Makes no sense making more. You're not going to get rewarded by that. You're just going to risk and lose accounts and lose money and lose time by making more, because in some of your days, you did not control your stability score. You got to control this. Do not make more money, because then you're raising the bar. And it's not worth it. It's like a mistake. Just simply, if you just wake up afterwards, and you always do the math. Always do the math. You have the percentage calculator on any account. You got to know before you start trading. Let's say you start with a 50K account. Right? 50K one step. 90% reward. 331 minus 25%. 33 times 2.5, how much is $82 discount with my code? So 331, it's $250. Good, $250. The challenge on the 50K account, $50,000 for $250. We buy that. Great. 30%. What's my target? It's 6% on 50K. 6% on $50,000 is $3,000. So $3,000. What's 30% of $3,000, right? It's $900. So I shouldn't cross $900. I have my target on 3,000, and my highest day should be worth 30% or less. And that's 900. Shouldn't cross 900 and earn that 3,000 with it. That's the way it works. So no minimum trading days like you have on the other place with the instant funding, where you have minimum 3 trading days. You don't have minimum trading days here, but you're pretty much limited by the stability score. You need a few days. You certainly need like 4 days. Earn a minimum 4 days to pass a challenge. So I just gave you the exact example here that we're talking about, and you become funded, right? You become funded. On 100K, hitting that 6,000 without crossing 1,800 a day, you become funded. Beautiful. What happens next? Well, I'm funded, and I only have to respect the stability score. I don't have a target set by the company. I gotta set that target by myself in order for that stability score to have a sense and the whole management to work. I need to set a target before I start trading my funded, and I have to do that. So, because if you don't set a target, and you just wake up in the middle of, 5 days of trading, and you have a day of $4,000, so then you say, well, in order for that day to be 30%, I have to make a lot more, and then at some point you lose the whole thing. No. Just think about how much do you want to cash out in your first payout. Think about it. If you say $3,000, because we do the math here for the 100K accounts, example $3,000 target. 30% stability is $900 a day. Don't cross that $900 today. Get to the 3,000. You can always make less. The stability score is up to 30. It can always be less, but not more. Right? So just, make money till you get to that 3,000 without making more than 900 in a day, and you take money out. You cash it out. Your drawdown is so far away. That's the best part about this challenge accounts, because your drawdown is static. And it's basically, 6% away. So your drawdown on a 100K account will always be $94,000. $94,000. Always stay there. Your daily drawdown, your daily loss limit will follow you based on the way your balance is looking at that specific hour. With a today's starting level, 12 a.m. and 5 minutes on UTC time, right? Today's starting level is what you always care here, because your max loss is static on 94 for the 100K. Beautiful, guys. So that's pretty much all in a nutshell. Of course, no copy trading for the evaluations. I mean, you cannot even do copy trading because you can trade one Eval at a time till that has a final perspective, like it's passed or it's lost. And then you can start the other. Like I said, you can have trade evaluations and you can also trade funded. That's fine. But multiple evaluations at the same time, no. That's pretty much all, guys. That's pretty much all. If you have any other questions, not suggesting you to 2-step, 2 evaluation phases, or even worse, 3 evaluation stages. I mean, think about this one, guys. 6% here. Let me tell you, do quick math with you. 6% even for one evaluation, 6% is actually more than what you're required for the instant funding, where it's just 4% and you already request a payout. Minimum 4%, guys, for the instant funded and you request a payout. For the 1-step phase, you need to make 6% just to pass the evaluation and then start trading in a funded stage. It's a big difference. At 4%, you can already request your payout on Instant Pro accounts. That's lovely, guys. And at that time, your max loss is also going to become static. It actually becomes static a little bit earlier at 3% growth in your balance. Once you've made 3%, your max drawdown becomes static. So the instant accounts are extremely way more advantageous. Just do that same 6% on an Instant Pro account, on a funded account. And you take all the money out, the entire 6%. Meanwhile, on the other side, you don't take anything out. How much did you saved? Let me tell you. The 50K account, obviously, it cannot be cheap when you have such conditions. It cannot be pennies on the dollar. Let's just do the math once again. 50K, 1,500, but you have 15% with my code, which is around 200, what? $20 discount. So 1,500 minus 220, it should come around 1,280, right? 15%. 1,280. 1 step, 50K, 90% split. What was the split on the, let me just do the math exactly in the same structure. What was the split on the instant funding? Same 90%, right? So we like to have the same conditions. Max drawdown 6, reward split 90%. 1 step, 50K. Max drawdown 6, reward split 90%. Great. 50K account. 331 minus 25%. So, we done the math over here as well. 33.1 times 2.5, $82 minus $82 is a discount minus 331, $250, right? So there is a $1,000 difference in the price. That's the difference in the price, which means 4 evaluations to cover that up. 4 evaluations to cover it up. 4. That's the difference in the price. 1,250 for the instant funded or 50K, and then 248 basically for the challenge, and under the same conditions. Under the same conditions. 3% daily, max 6% static. If you're trading well, you just, 250 out here and you're ready to go on a 50K account. I mean, if you want to become funded on a higher level, then the 100K and so on, the 200K is even better. Like if you're making money or cashing out, just go for the big numbers out there and take the big accounts. Bigger discounts as well in terms of the value. Look at that. 90% here for the 200K, but imagine 2% of 200K is 4K. Like if you're making money in this account, It's just wild how much money you can take out from a 200K. If you have one of those good days in trading, one of those lovely price actions in the BTC, in the Ethereum or altcoins where things are just going aggressively. But the only requirement that I have, which is a friendly one of course, is do not go high leverage. Like forget about 150, 30, forget about even 20, forget about above 10, and listen to what I say, guys. Trading is only for serious risk management and disciplined people. It's not for gamblers. It's not for degenerate fellas that are hoping to hit the nail of the coffin. It's not going to work. Have a lovely day, guys. That's pretty much all about. Links in the comments area. Coupon code Scrembo for the evaluation accounts, and SCR for the instant funded. 15% there, 25 on the other side. This is the best that I could have negotiated with the company for you guys. Once again, join our Discord. Join our live stream every day. We share Klein accounts for free. Have a lovely day, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Any questions in the comments area? Any questions on our Discord community? Thank you so much.